This is where I ended up last night. The Ashfield Motor Inn. Absolutely typical American motoring. It's just off I-95. And there is a manager special, which is the cheapest deal you can get, so didn't do too badly out of that. It's some ungodly hour, just past 7 o'clock, and I wouldn't normally be up at this time. I'd normally be staying right up until check-in and getting my money's worth, but because this is a short road trip, relatively, I want to get as much in as I can without wasting time. So what I've done is, last night I was supposed to be in Pawtucket, but I wasn't. I was in Ashford, but that's no biggie. I found a cafe about 50 minutes away on the way to Rhode Island, because if I don't go to Rhode Island, I won't get Rhode Island in my states list, you see. And I want to get up to 48 by the end of this trip. It's only taken 28 years, but I'm getting there. Anyway, I've booked the hotel in Bangor, the best one I could afford, the cheapest one I could find, for a couple of days, so that gives me a bit of breathing space. Don't have to keep turning the phone on. You know, I want this to be a bit more organic and natural, but because I need to do Acadia National Park, and I need a base around there that's relatively inexpensive, so I've chosen Bangor, and just going to go straight there. And straight there, I don't check in till 3, and it's only a few hours drive, so this is going to be an interesting one. Anyway, I've decided I'm going to get up early at these places and just get as much as I can. I think I'm turning into that old person, you know, when you got up for breakfast and they're all already fit, talking, chatty, and you think, oh, fuck off. I'm that person now, and I didn't realise you become the very things that annoy you. Funny life, isn't it? First time I went to America, I got off the plane and booked into a hotel, and my mind is going, oh, I'm in America. Well, I've done it. Nothing, completely devoid of emotion. And I think the reason for that is I put myself in, or found myself in, high stress environments, and I was so tightly coiled that when it was time to release the pressure, there was no adverse environment. I didn't know how, and I didn't know how to unwind. Now I'm really starting to experience that, and it feels great. It's like unblocking your sinuses for the first time, being able to breathe or being able to hear. Amazing. I've got onto Route 1 North now. One thing I wanted to say, no point making a playlist either, because basically you're going to get to the end of it again and again and again on a long run, and Sirius has just got unlimited songs, so you know, don't worry about that. Don't need a playlist, just whack the radio on or just enjoy the scenery. I've driven past so many shops when I needed to buy water, just gone straight past, but I cannot pass a harbour freight without going in. It's a man thing. I finally made it to Bangor, Maine, after a long and winding road, so the song goes. This is the Super 8, and it's typical of the brand. It's got everything you need. I paid $103 a night for this, which on a busy weekend is not bad. Now the thing is, I would recommend that you book as soon as you know where you're going. I didn't know I was going to be at Bangor for definite until first thing this morning, so book it as soon as you know where you're going to be. If you know in advance, book it in advance, but the later you book, obviously the more it's going to be. I checked the price tonight and it's $119, but what I did was book the mystery 2.5 star hotel. If I booked it direct, it would have been $140, and it's the same on booking. Now I use 7 sites. I know it sounds a lot, but they vary completely. Just because Expedia owns Hotwire and Booking owns Priceline doesn't mean the prices are the same at all. And sites like Trivago might lead you to believe they scan all the hotels and all the rooms. That's not true. I've proved that wrong so many times. So the 7 sites I use Priceline, Skyscanner, Booking, Hotels.com, Hostelworld, Hotwire, and Trivago. And I go through all of those just because they vary. There's no one site, otherwise I'd use that. You know, normally if you're booking in advance, Booking is quite good, Hotel's quite good as a one-stop shop, but if you're last minute, it's quite dynamic. And sometimes they discount rooms if they can't sell them, whereas other countries they might just raise them. So, you know, that's a little tip if you were booking it on the fly. I don't like being tied down. Plans might change, you know. So I only book it when I know exactly where I'm going to be. You pay a little bit more, but you have that freedom. If you don't want to do it or want to go somewhere else, then you can. I don't like being obliged to stay somewhere or paying cancellation charges. So that's why I do it, just to, you know, have the flexibility. Anyway, speak to you in a bit.